What's going on, guys, and welcome to my first impressions of the Battlefield 1 beta. Overall, I'm really satisfied with how the game is looking. Even though I was not able to play in the alpha, I feel like the beta was well worth the wait despite being only one map. From boots on the ground to tanks and jeeps, to horseback riding and flying around in planes, this game has everything you want in a Battlefield game. The game feels familiar and yet new. But before I get any further, let me talk about just how beautiful this game looks. Each map has its own weather system, and looking at how Sinai Desert can go from bright to clear, to a massive sandstorm, to a cloudy and pale, and then back to bright and clear, all within the same game, it seems like DICE knows exactly how to make the atmosphere work. I really like the weather system, and I'm really interested in seeing how DICE will implement it in the other maps. The graphics on the PS4 look very clear, and I haven't really experienced a lot of frame drop with a lot of things happening on screen. It's definitely better than BF4 on PS4, along with added touches like sand brushing out when soldiers are running and vehicles driving, parts of rubble flying in the air, the characters' heavy breathing when explosions are nearby, top-notch sound as expected from a Battlefield game, and soldier callouts make this game feel alive within its atmosphere. There were moments when I felt like I was in a World War I movie and everything was exploding, people yelling and guns blazing. The game really did a good job at capturing the cinematic feel. However, not all matches will feel like this. There's so much empty space, you might have trouble actually running into people unless you're attacking the heavy populated areas like C and D. The flags surrounding them are pretty good, but mostly you'll have to deal with snipers and tanks since there's not as much cover in those areas, which brings me to my next point, and that's the map itself. Sinai Desert is either loved or hated. I personally really liked it, but I can see why people would hate it. It's a very open map with little cover on the open desert portion, unless you make your own cover. There really isn't enough vehicles for everyone, so there might be times when you have to run, which can get boring for some players. I really wish there were more horses, so that way we can have an all-out cavalry battle around the map. Look at E-Flag being all alone and tell me you wouldn't like to have horses spawn all around there, and then you'll see an army rush to D-Flag on horses. Of course you'll have to worry about being blown up, but E-Flag really needs something to make it more desirable. It's just so lonely all the way over there. The other flag placements and conquests are great and spaced out pretty well, so really E-Flag needs to be brought up just a little bit. The town in the center is really intense, and you never know when squads will meet within its close quarter walls. Hitting doors down like Faith brings me back to the fast-paced running and action from Mirror's Edge, and I gotta say, BF1 seems to be the fastest Battlefield game I've ever played. Overall, Sinai Desert has everything you want in a Battlefield game. Long choke points, close quarter combat, vehicles, and a weather system that can change the outcome of a match. Now, speaking of changing the outcome of a match, let's talk about the three classes that you can play as. I don't know if there will be more of them in the future, but for now we only have the Flame Trooper, the Sentry, and the Tank Hunter. I've only been able to play as the Flame Trooper and the Sentry, but they're a lot of fun and they really can be effective if you know how to use them. They kind of work like hero pickups from Battlefront, which can anger some players, but I haven't really been completely shut down by them since each class can be countered with teamwork. Each pickup can be found in one place each, which hopefully doesn't make them camping grounds for people because they only appear every now and then throughout the match. Think of them like Halo and Battlefield 4, where they are set in certain locations for map control, since all three classes can be used by one team if they get them first. You should definitely try them out when you can. Now, we all know that Battlefield is just a massive game of rock, paper, scissors, and this game is no different. Each gun has both strengths and weaknesses, so it doesn't feel like one particular class is better than the other. Although I really wish the Scout had Jeep stuff again, but they were taken away. It makes sense since a Scout is recon, so you need to spot, and oh yeah, spot. It's like in every game I play, people have forgotten how to spot. BF1's assault class is the engineer with its anti-tank grenades and SMGs, medic has the med packs and rifles, support is the LMGs with ammo, and the Scout has the sniper rifles. I've always been a sniper myself, and trying out the WW1 weapons is a lot of fun. They're really inaccurate at times, but they can really pack a punch if you can actually shoot with them, because don't forget about the recoil. The recoil is really bad in some guns. There are times when it feels like the soldiers have way too much health when you're shooting at them, but I'm sure it will be readjusted when the final game is out, so hopefully that's fixed. The hitboxes could use some tweaking, but overall it's really good for a beta, and getting those melee and bayonet kills is oh so satisfying and brutal. Dude, it's amazing. Now, we can't have a Battlefield game without vehicles, and in BF1 there is a good variety of them. Since the heavy armored tanks require multiple riders, you're gonna need to use teamwork and communication to line up shots. The driver doesn't always have access to the main cannons and guns, so you actually have to talk to your squad. Planes are so well polished and easy to pilot. Well, for some people, riding gunner on a plane is really something I really wanted in BF4, and now that it's here, it makes playing with friends a lot more fun. Shooting at infantry below while my friend is bombing a flag while also defending against other planes makes flying even more enjoyable. And then we have horses. Oh, riding a horse is fun, but the controls for it can use some work. I wish it can use the controls like it did in Metal Gear 5, so that way it can be a lot more smoother. That, and also being able to attack maybe even on the left side. So there really doesn't seem to be enough horses because I'm hardly ever seeing them around, and when I do see them, everyone just wants to kill them. But overall, I really enjoyed my time in the beta, and I'm even more hyped for the final game. So how do you like the beta? Is it terrible? Is it better than you expected? Did it convince you to pre-order? Tell me down in the comments below, and I'll see you on the battlefield. See ya.